Spent the day on the lake, floating around. Just out to Miller, Savannah. I went there again. Oh, really?
There's only about 4 of us on one of them.
Really?
George can't be here tonight, so I'll get the chamber.
Okay. Wait, no, I don't want to go to
Is
you.
it right for Lake Fair?
Which is this weekend?
This weekend, always, we have, it's always the same weekend as our pipe garage sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in next year or the year after that our Oregon Trail Days and Lake Fair are the same weekend. It's about every 7 years.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If theirs is always the third weekend.
It's been a little while since we've had it, so we should be coming up pretty soon. Where Oregon Trail Days and Lake Fair were the same weekend.
Well, don't they always have theirs, the Lake Fair, on the third weekend in July?
I'm not sure how that actually falls, but once in a while.
Well, otherwise, because then it would butt up against our garage sale too,
Yeah.
Oregon Trail Days.
I thought they moved Oregon Trail Days to the 4th weekend.
They do, it is on the fourth weekend, Oregon Trail Days. I don't know. 7 o'clock, Mr. Mayor.
7:01.
Well, your clock's wrong.
Let's go off the wall. Check 1.
Microphone check, check. Are we on? Are we recording?
Yeah, we're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tuesday, July 12th, 2022 Tenino City Council meeting work session. All council members are present with the exception of Council Member Rachel Davidson, who has a family illness. On the agenda, we have discussion of the Ag Park MOU. So we will pull that up. This is an MOU that was drafted up by the EDC, and it's an MOU between Dragon Wheel Investment Group, the City of Tenino, and the EDC. This would formalize the agreement that would put in the wheels in motion for a long-term land lease with Dragon Wheel Investment Group. They would be building the first building at the Ag Park. And if you look through the MOU, there's a lot of language spelling out the relationship of between the different organizations. This has been reviewed by the city attorney with his comments included. The city is the landowner. Go ahead.
Aren't his comments in the red?
Yeah. The city is the landowner of the commercial property known as the Southwest Washington Agricultural Business Park. The CBNI, the EDC, and the city completed the Ag Park Master Plan in 2020, outlines the development concepts, guidelines, and initial site diagrams. So we've had a bunch of feedback, we've had a bunch of input in the guidelines and concepts. The CBNI received state grant funds administered by the Washington State Department of Commerce for purposes of constructing necessary site infrastructure. We've done that. The CBNI is managing the state funds and secured professional architectural and engineering firms to complete design concepts. The proponent has conducted initial due diligence conversations with the city and CBNI to evaluate the development potential of the site. The proponent wishes to construct a commercial multi-tenant building and intends to occupy a portion of the building for its operations. The proponent has shared the building concept, potential tenant mix, and vision of the building with the city and CB&I. The city and CB&I have provided preliminary approval of the building layout, site concept, and timeline to occupy such building. The proponent understands and acknowledges the property is owned by the city and currently under lease to the CB&I, and as such, a formal land lease between the developer and the city will be required instrument to establish entitlement to build and occupy the building. The proponent has retained a professional real estate commercial broker with expertise in establishing fair market lease rates for industrial commercial buildings, including land lease provisions and commitments. The proponent wishes to enter into a long-term land lease with the city to ensure the financial viability and merits of the project. The city has agreed to advance formal discussions with the developer in executing such land lease. This MOU will establish the basic terms used in a future real estate land lease contract, the contract between the proponent and the city. This is concurrent to the creation of this MOU, the EDC/CB&I will be recreating its signed lease and/or agreement with the city of Tenino that allows for the city to establish the basic terms for this MOU. The basic terms are as follows. Transaction description: the property that is the subject of the MOU is located in the Ag Park. Building A, this is an attachment A, site and short plat plan, a 20,000 square feet building, parking and open space, size and design subject to change in final construction documents. The proponent will have a 120-day due diligence period to assess final building parameters, financial pro forma, land lease terms, and financial lender underwriting provisions. During the due diligence period, the city will not entertain or enter into any other agreements with a third party or for similar purposes defined to and agreed with the proponent. Proponent shall have exclusivity to enter a land lease with city for purposes of constructing and operating a building referenced as Building A on Attachment A once due diligence period is waived. Pad delivery and site planning, terms and conditions. The city will advance necessary survey and planning to develop a short plat to create legal lots for the building envelopes. Short plat and legal lots recorded within 90 days of the execution of the MOU. Attachment A will provide the initial intent. The city/CB&I will deliver a buildable pad to accommodate a minimum of a 20,000 square foot multi-tenant building referenced this Building A. The Pad A envelope will be cleared, graded, and compacted in accordance with the soils and geotechnical report and structural soil density requirements. Buildable pad and site development will be defined as having the following improvements and features: water service, sewer force main, all surface paved access roads, all site stormwater facilities, parking lot lighting, sidewalks, landscaping, paved multi-use path along Old 99 frontage. The city will be responsible to provide necessary sewer system improvements to support the building. The city will provide the Ag Park monument sign on frontage of Old 99. The monument signage will include space for Pad A building placard. Design and placement of monument sign will be detailed on the civil and landscape design plans. City/CB&I will advance final civil engineering and construction documents to solicit construction bids within 90 days. City/CB&I will complete and deliver the final site pad improvements by March of 2022. Building delivery. Terms and conditions. The proponent will be responsible to make utility extensions from point of connections to new building pad. The proponent will construct a fully serviced multi-tenant building per concept plans developed and approved by the CB&I in accordance per the guidelines established and created by the Green Ribbon Advisory Panel. The GRAP was created to provide a framework for the operations and tenancy of the business park. The proponent will advance building design and tenant improvement plans at own costs and will submit for building permit approval. Time is of the essence, and the proponent will have the option to prepare a separate grading and erosion control plan to obtain an early start permit to provide site grading and foundation. The proponent will prepare an itemized cost of the site grading and erosion control improvements, plus design and permit fees. Costs will be accounted for as defined in section D below. The lease terms, it is understood by the parties that the terms and conditions of a potential lease agreement between the parties would generally include the following, with details subject to negotiation. Following waiver of feasibility period, proponent and city of CBI will prepare a formal land lease agreement, including but not limited to the following. Proponent will receive approval for CBI management to enter into lease agreements with tenants. This only includes approval of the type of tenant, not lease terms, as per the guidelines established and created by the Green Ribbon Panel. The proponent will accommodate net free cost space for the CB&I to have office training space in the building. That's the Center for Business and Innovation through the EDC. The final floor plan and amount of build-out space and occupancy to be determined at a later date and will be referenced in the MOU between the city and CB&I. Proponent will enter into a long-term land lease agreement with city, who holds title to the property, 30-year land lease with two 15-year extensions, a set land lease rate of, to be determined, per dollars per buildable square foot month will be assessed and paid to the city on a quarterly basis. Escalation costs increases will be defined in final land lease term sheet. Proponent will receive credit to land lease costs to offset the property site maintenance cost, as well as CB&I office space costs. Duration of credit will be in place until such time of other buildings and tenants are in the ag park to help offset the front load costs of the maintenance. Proponent will prepare an itemized cost breakdown of the maintenance costs and provide the city for acceptance in determining the amount of credit to land lease cost. Proponent will provide the city the fair market value of the CB&I lease space in determining the amount of credit to the land lease cost. Proponent will be responsible for maintenance of all the initial site improvements until such time additional buildings are completed. Then subsequent cost sharing will be in the pro rata basis of the total building area in the park. Proponent will be reimbursed by the city and the CB&I for eligible costs associated with the early permit to complete the grading erosion control pad. Additional items such as signage, marketing, branding, etc. will be defined in provisions incorporated in future land lease agreement. Real property disclosure. The city CB&I does not know of any material facts that would affect the development of the Pad A except those observables by the proponent or known as city CB&I stated in this MOU. Proposed development of the ag park. Present representation. City CB&I represents in warrants that the property for building Pad A, not entire business park, is free and clear of any liens, charges, encumbrances. Terms and amendments. The signing parties have agreed to the terms of this agreement. Proponent will have the right to transfer and or assign this memorandum of understanding to one of its holding companies, if so desired, before the end of the due diligence period. The proponent will act as the business park association until such time that the entire park achieves a build-out occupancy of 50% of leasable building space. At that time, the tenants will have cause to form a business park association. This will be established to create funds that will be dedicated and used for management of the park, general maintenance of the common areas, and will operate in general and broad terms to ensure the park's professional operations and maintenance. There's some conflict of interest language that just clarifies things that we do, but we do not think it'll come up. And this attachment site plan for site A, or attachment A site plan. Are there any questions about the Ag Park MOU?
So if I understand this right, until, thank you.
Yeah.
So if I understand this right, we're responsible for all the lands until they hit a certain point, and then they'll take over that responsibility?
Nope.
No?
When the site A is built out and they're the only ones there, they're the ones that are solely responsible, and they act as the business park association until 50% of the buildable land is leased out. At that point, the proponent, which is Dragon Wheel Investments, that's building that first 20,000 square foot building, once 50% of the whole space is occupied, then they no longer are the business park in charge of the business park association. Then they go to the other ones and they say, let's all make a business park association. So as soon as this is built, we're responsible for maintenance of city things, but they will be responsible for the costs of landscaping, things, caretaking and things
So we
like that.
take care of the infrastructure
Yep.
and the roads itself?
Yep.
And they take care of just about everything else?
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to get that out there.
Yep.
As far as the lease terms, 30 years plus 2 extensions at 15 years each, how are we going to establish lease terms for 30 years out? Who's going to do that for us?
We have consultants that will be helping us. I'm not going to be wickering that together off of like Google.
Okay.
We have consultants that will be helping with that. We've been using like Kidder Matthews and different firms that deal in commercial real estate.
Okay.
And those agreements would come before the council for approval.
Okay, so, and do we know if the comparables are going to be in Thurston County, or is it going to be throughout the state of Washington to get the terms?
I don't have those details,
Okay.
but I imagine there will be some in Thurston County. Like there's, the kind of the craft district area in Tumwater is kind of the, first thing that comes to mind, and that will likely be, for a lot of things, that has been our, what we've been copycatting, so.
And the reason that I asked that is years ago, we went through something like this, and their comparables were South County comparables, not Thurston County comparables, period. And as you know, South County comparables, especially back then, were much less.
Yeah, there's really
than
nothing
Thurston
to
County.
compare it to down here. So we're likely gonna have to look at some things up in Tumwater and some things down in Centralia and kind of see what makes sense and what fits.
Okay. Just want to make sure that that's really carefully looked at.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions regarding the MOU? Former council member Watterson? Or planning commissioner? I mean, this is gonna, a lot of this, the site plan stuff is gonna come before you all.
I just told Jim, I'm not here on behalf, I haven't been designated to report to the council, so I'm just speaking I'm not speaking on behalf of the
Yeah,
planning commission, but, on the agenda, there's nothing on there, and I was hoping, that's why I suggested to Jim that be on there, because I think it's pretty important.
what's that?
The site plan,
I think it goes to you guys first and then it comes to
but
us.
it wasn't on the agenda, and it's kind of been.
For the planning commission?
Yeah, but, I'm
Okay.
hoping it's gonna put it on, it's gonna be there, but,
I asked Penrose, is that not something Penrose would give me?
It should be something Penrose would give you.
He said he has nothing for the agenda.
Okay.
So I brought it up and, I don't know what information he has on it, if he's been given information, but I'm
Okay.
hoping it will be on our agenda, and if we need to do a special meeting or something to.
Okay.
I know it's something that needs to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, when we agree to this, there's a
Yeah,
ticking timer for when the planning commission has to move forward with that.
so maybe as an administration, you can,
Okay.
maybe talk to them and say, hey, we need, because it's fair to the public too, it's just like this meeting, we should be, if we know there's
Yeah.
to know about.
Yeah.
So maybe I mentioned it in the meeting because there's never anything presented on the agenda.
Yeah, I looked at the agenda for the planning commission, thinking it might be on there, but it wasn't.
And, so maybe if you talk to them and say, hey, you know, there's something that you know we're gonna be talking about, please give it to
Okay.
whoever's appropriate, so the public can know. That's
Yeah.
what we do. But
Okay.
I'm hoping that will be on the agenda, and I will definitely, bring it up. Like I said, I don't know what Dan has for information about it, but
Okay.
it doesn't seem like it should be too complicated.
I wouldn't think so, but
From my perspective, but
okay. Thank you.
anyway, that's kind of where that's,
I got one more.
Sir.
We've got about an extra mile of road going out towards the alpaca farm. Part of that road is right off the ag park. How are we going to find the money to fix that? Get it ready for more commercially viable vehicles to withstand, so the road can withstand that.
Okay.
How's that going to play into all of this?
It will definitely bump it up on our list of priorities when it comes to street planning.
I think it's on the,
It's number one on the 6-year street plan. Okay.
Is it is it? It looked like it was just to maintain what we have. This is going to have to be an upgrade.
no, it was a regrind and pave. So it was grinding, I think it's 8/6 wide and repaving that, just like the county did their half,
Yeah,
right where it starts, that same thing they did.
yeah, but what I'm looking at is heavier vehicles than are normal that are going to be coming through there because it is an ag park. So we're going to see a whole lot of other stuff. Plus, once we go full time with the reclamation at the sewer plant, you're going to see a whole lot of heavier vehicles coming through as well. If we just regrade, we're going to have to regrade about every 5 years.
Yeah, so
And
I think that there might be some ways that we can go after tonnage, so every truck pays a tonnage to the state. Even though we don't see it, they come through here in our streets, we don't charge you a tonnage, but if you buy, say your truck weighs 105.5, they're buying tonnage for that 105.5. Right? And so that money goes somewhere, and goes back to the state somewhere, and so you would think that that highway, used to be a highway, the state would give up some money towards that to redo themselves and to make it a truck traffic area. Cause there's, how many trucks come through here, you know, a day to the freeway?
Yeah.
It's huge, so I don't know how to go after that, so there should be some sort of a way to go after that tonnage money.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Also the bridge.
The bridge is a. Pam?
I would be interested in knowing exactly what does happen to that.
Where's that money
Money.
go?
Where does it go? What, is it earmarked for certain places? Does it just go into their general fund or, you know, I'd be interested to know that.
Straight into Inslee's pocket.
Yeah, well,
I'll get on Google right now. I'll have an answer back.
Yeah, but Google it. Put it on. Ask Facebook. Hey, Facebook friends.
Well, I mean, it's just like the tax money, you know, we get 10 people buy something in our city, we get the city's tax money.
Mhm.
I would think that, yeah, I think it would work the same way.
Do we put a tax out on that strip of highway just for
A toll.
vehicles?
A toll.
Yeah,
A toll or something?
Yeah.
You know, so they wouldn't come through town anymore.
well, I just think, you know,
I get messages from people all the time about roads, right?
Yeah.
And 99% of the people that hit me up about roads, they don't live in Tenino. And they send me a message. They're like, when are you guys going to do something about your roads in Tenino? When are you going to do something about your potholes? But people don't understand, you know. And then I try to explain to them. I was like, well, there's 900 houses in Tenino, and that's all that is paying into the coffers to pay for all these roads that are used by everybody from Violet Prairie, Offit Lake, Skookumchuck, and we pay for, you know, so just those 900 homes, the 2,000 people are paying for everybody's cops, everybody's roads, everybody's, you know, water system and parks, and the people that live on Bucota Highway or Violet Prairie, they use them, but they don't pay for them. And they're the ones that are sending me messages about the shape of them. And I'm like, well, you're not paying for it, and the math just does not work out for those little bit, the 900 houses in Tenino to really, do more than just, the best maintenance we can do. And but people don't realize, they think that if Tenino is on their mail, then they're paying into Tenino taxes, but they're not.
And aren't really, I mean, I've been through Olympia, Centralia, Chehalis, under back roads, ours are way better.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you, how often do you go to Tumwater, stay in that right-hand lane when you go past, Tumwater Boulevard right in there? They fixed that road, right?
Oh, they finally fixed it.
Well, there's a lip like this, right around the manholes that they have there, and there'll be 2 and 3 in a row, and you go boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Like
They
your
finally
car.
just fixed those.
yeah,
Finally?
they
Yeah.
just did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
For
they
those
must have
that-
just the last few days, because the last time I went through there, I almost lost my front wheel.
Yeah, no, it's fixed now.
We're way off subject for the Ag Park MOU, but it's okay. I mean, that means that nobody really has anything to say about it.
It was a good segue.
We got an answer for you. You wanna know?
Go ahead.
So this says in here the amount for, what are you talking about, $105,000?
Well, tonnage,
The weight fee is $3,100 and pay just for the weight fee on $105,000. And it says 22.36% deposited in the state patrol highway account of the motor vehicle fund, 1.3% deposited in the Puget Sound Ferry operations account, 5.3% deposited into transportation 203 account. I don't know what that is. Nickel account it says. And 11.5% must be deposited into the transportation partnership account. So I don't know what all those are. It doesn't say
What
say
that
where
money
it's
is used
what
for.
we're used for, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is in there. It's RCW 46.68.035. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm gonna have to do some more on those funds and how, well, the ferry is probably pretty obvious, and state patrol probably, but the nickel account, I'm not sure what that. It's a small amount, so it's probably not a lot of money, but yeah.
If it's collected on a statewide basis, it jumps up there real fast.
I think they also, Thurston County has their own also, tonnage stuff too, 'cause I remember paying state and Thurston County, even for oversized loads, each county is a separate thing, so. So, why couldn't we put a tax on oversized loads coming from town? They do it.
Yeah. Because most of them are on the state highway.
Just our highway,
Yeah. Our.
from 507 going to.
I still think the transportation benefit district is something that would be worthwhile to do a sales tax increase for the transportation benefit district, because then you're spreading that around to everybody. Anybody that comes into town and spends money would be paying that fraction of a cent, but it's still only going to net us another $40,000, $50,000 a year.
Yeah, we're looking at.
But that would double our road fund.
Yeah, I mean, just that road alone is gonna cost us,
Yeah. $1.5 million.
500,000,
Yeah.
it's up to 800 probably.
Yeah.
To grind and pay that, I mean, it's just.
Yeah. All right. Let's call the work session to a close, and then we'll move on to our meeting.
You guys talk again, please, use the microphone, I'm getting texted.
You recording there, Jen? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the July
Yes.
12th, 2022 Tenino City Council meeting. Let the record show that all council members are present with the exception of council member Rachel Davidson, who has a family member that is ill she's taken care of. So we ask that council consider excusing her absence. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have an agenda.
Move approval of the agenda with the addition of Rachel Davison to the consent calendar.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented with the addition of adding excusal of Rachel Davidson to the consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Whenever I do the Pledge of Allegiance, it reminds me of one time when Sage was saying it, and she said, you know, it says for which it stands. She says, for which it stand? And then I was like, where's for which it stand? Like, and I can't say it the right way anymore. Now we have the minutes from the June 14th, 2022 meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next is a consent calendar consisting of June 29th, 2022 through July 12th, 2022. Payroll EFTs in the amount of $35,595.28. Claims checks number 30717 through 30749. And EFTs in the amount of $120,648.31. For a grand total of $156,243.59. No liquor cannabis license renewals. Excusal of council member Rachel Davidson's absence. And the reviewing the attached letter waiving fees for upcoming Tenino Railroad Days.
Move approval.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar as stated. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. We have no executive session. We have no presentations. This is the public comment period. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to provide public comment, you may do so at this time. Please state your name and address. You'll be given 3 minutes to comment. Going once, going twice. Moving along, we have a second public comment period if you were feeling sheepish. Not to offend any sheep. Public hearings, we have none. Proclamations, we have none. Next is old business. There is a utility rate study we have planned to do in 2022. We're getting that to the kind of the front burner now. We've reached out to the company we do the utility rate study for and updated their proposal. So if you open that up, you will see their proposal. Yep, and you know it is high time that we do another rate study. We're also going to be doing some cost allocation stuff. Total cost.
So what are you looking for?
Be in the total budget estimate, $62,880. This is a presentation. This is not a contract. I wanted to present the information to you, see if there was any concerns, any feedback. This is something that we budgeted for and planned for. The costs are a little more than we initially budgeted, but it is still something that we need to get done. Jen, do you have any other comments? You've been the one that has talked to the company.
No, I think it's all, right here, they say they're, you know, if they do it, it's not gonna be done till December, obviously, cause we're halfway through the year, so, something to keep in mind, but.
Okay. Any other comments from the council? All right. So we are going to move forward. I believe we'll have a contract to move forward with the work, and we would bring that to you at the next meeting. New business, 6-year street plan. Public Works Director Troy Cannon on the 6-year street plan.
Smile pretty.
Good evening. So on the 6-year street plan, what I did was I rolled over from last year's and the years before. They're all pretty much the same streets. The only one I did change this year, I changed Ritter Street South, obviously, because that one's going to be talked about here in a little bit. I moved it to Ritter Street North. I figured that would be the next best one to connect the high school with Ritter Street South to the park plus the store, and so it'd be nice to have some sidewalks and everything from the high school, and it might look better for safe travels to school and that package that they have out. So that's what I did for that. It's basically, I think you got it in front of you. It's highway, old Highway 99, McClellan. I think Stage is on there. Park Avenue and 5th Street. But they're all right there. It's the same ones the past so many years, except Ritter Street North. So
Ritter Street will go from Lincoln.
correct, to the high school to Sussex, and then we have that nice crosswalk that we put in so many years ago, and then the new Ritter Street South is being done this year. So it will just connect everything into the park, type of safe travel to the park and back and forth from the high school. So that's why I put it on there. So, any questions? Okay, that's it.
That was the only question I had.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, pretty easy. I mean, I could make that list pretty long, but those are our top streets basically that we need to get fixed. So
Well, that's what I told you years ago.
yeah, no, the number one is Old Highway 99. But yeah, we're gonna need to do something with that real soon. But,
Yep.
so
I don't
That's
go
it.
out that way that much, but every night when I do, I can see that, it's falling apart more and more.
yeah, it is. Well, again, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of truck traffic on that road. A lot of truck traffic.
Yep.
And so, there's gotta be a way we can go after some sort of tax of tonnage or whatever else. You got oversized loads they pay on, they got everything else, that there's gotta be something that it should trickle down to the cities where they're coming through.
Well, there's a way, and I looked at it years and years ago because of the overweight fees. If we stop anybody now with the ordinances the way that we have them, the state gets almost every penny of it. There's an ordinance that we have to adopt, and I don't remember what it is, so that we get something like 35–40% of it. We get a much bigger percent. If we did something along those lines, and we need to talk with Andrew Barkis of the Transportation Committee, he's the chair of the Transportation Committee for the state, figure out what that is, get that put into our ordinances. This way, when we start doing the oversize, stopping the trucks for oversize, like we did just a little while ago, we get a bigger portion of that money, which will, then we can allocate it to the roads, period, and start getting a lot of these things fixed.
Yeah,
But right now, we're not doing the oversized load stuff.
nothing. Prime example, there goes another truck, so,
Yep.
yeah, nonstop.
Yeah.
So,
I saw a Fred Meyer truck drive
and
through
those
here the other
guys,
day.
yeah. And when
What's
those,
that?
Why would a Fred Meyer truck drive through here?
yeah, really, yeah, freeway was closed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's it. So,
So recommended action is review and motion to approve the 6-year street plan as
Move
presented.
approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Thank you.
Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Gotta start using the gavel more. Next up, Ritter Street bid recommendation. So we are asking that the council will review and approve the Ritter Street bid. There was some, I don't want to use the word controversy. There was some discussion amongst some of the bidders, and there was, I want to make sure I'm using.
The letter kind of explained that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I'll just read the letter then. Dear Mayor and City Council, on June 16th, 2022, at 10 a.m., 4 bids were opened and publicly read for the above referenced project. The total bids for schedules A and B combined, including Washington sales tax, ranged from $651,000 to $854,000. The engineer's estimate was $719,000. Please see the attached bid tabulation. The low bid was submitted by the Confederated Construction Company, LLC, of Oakville, Washington, in the amount of $651,028.98, including Washington State sales tax. CCC's bid was reviewed and determined to be non-responsive because it did not include evidence of authority to sign the bid by the person that signed the bid on behalf of CCC. This requirement was identified in the bid checklist and in the signature block of the bid documents. The lowest responsive bid was submitted by Northwest Cascade Inc. of Puyallup, Washington, in the amount of $719,832, including Washington State sales tax. The bid for Schedule A, Ritter Street South improvements, is $509,718. The bid for Schedule B, Ritter Street South waterline replacement, is $210,114, including sales tax. Gibson Olson reviewed NCI's bid and found that NCI correctly completed the required forms included in the bid package. Gibson Olson has also verified that NCI has an active contractor's license and has no summons or complaints against them. Gibson Olson recommends that the City of Tenino award a contract in the amount of $719,832 to Northwest Cascade Inc. of Puyallup, Washington, for the Ritter Street South improvements and waterline replacement project, contingent on receiving concurrence from both the city attorney and from the Transportation Improvement Board on award of the construction contract award to Northwest Cascade Inc.
Move approval.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to accept the bid from NCI for the Ritter Street project. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next item up is the Ag Park MOU. This was reviewed by the city attorney, and it was discussed and reviewed in a council work session. Our recommendation for action is that the council authorize the administration to sign the Ag Park MOU on behalf of the city.
Move approval.
It has been moved and seconded to authorize the administration to sign the Ag Park MOU. Is there any discussion?
Just wanted to put it out there that this is the beginning of the project. We'll be going through a whole lot more stuff, such as site plans and all that kind of good stuff. This is just stage 1.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. We have no resolutions, we have no ordinances. Reports. Chamber of Commerce.
The next chamber meeting is next Wednesday at noon at Sandstone Cafe. Oregon Trail Days is coming right along, and it's really, the plans are really coming wanted me to be sure and tell everybody that the steady meeting has been canceled for July, so there won't be a steady meeting. That's it.
Thank you. We have no report from the EDC. We have no report from Steady. We have no report from the Arch Commission. VCB, no report. Fire District 12.
We meet Thursday.
Linda the librarian. Come on up.
It's okay. So summer's moving right along, as Linda said, or the days will be here before we know it, and then it's 2/3 over, right? As of today, we've got 103 people sign up for the summer library program. So this is, I consider this our first post-COVID summer library program, and the first time that I've had a summer library program here that isn't in COVID. So I feel like those are good solid numbers, and we'll keep working to get more people signed up and to continue to improve that over the years. There's been so much research done about summer slide and how if kids aren't continuing to read over the summer that they lose some of the comprehension skills and that sort of thing. So it's really important to keep reading over the summer, so we do the best we can to reel them in, to keep them reading. This past Saturday, we had Rec On in the park near the Quarry Stage. We had over 125 people attending, and it was a fabulous time. It's always fun to see the reptiles that he brings. And he spent quite a bit of time, I would say at least 45 minutes afterwards, doing photo ops with Lucy the alligator. She's only about this long, but she's very happy to semi-perch on your head for a selfie. So that was quite exciting. Everybody needed to do that. So, and it's really, not only is it fun, but he's always imparting information about reptiles as he goes along too. So
He does a great job.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, it was such a beautiful day. It was hot, but we were in the shade the whole time because of the gorgeous trees. Just a lovely place to have that outdoor event. This Saturday, during the time that Farmers Market is open, we're going to be doing giant bubbles behind the library under the pavilion area and where we usually park. We won't be parked there that day. Just really something fun for families to do with the Farmers Market, or even non-families, adults, everybody. It's pretty amazing when you have a bubble bomb that's like 4 feet in diameter to see what you can do. And then on a perhaps less frivolous note, I think the bubbles are frivolous. At Oregon Trail Days Farmers Market on the 23rd, the Friends of the Tenino Library will be there doing the annual book sale. So prices are quite reasonable, and they do use the money to support programs at the library, and we appreciate all of their work for the library. Thank you.
Thank you. No museum report. I do not see Jody. Civil Service Commission has not met. Facade Improvement Grant Review Committee.
I was just thinking about Jody in the community center because she put out, I'm sure if she was here, she'd want to say that they're doing all ages now on the booster shots every Friday, July through August at the food bank. So that's what but the only one that I'm on right now trying to get them to do what they're supposed to be doing is across the street. And I'm in contact with Heather, so hopefully we can get some things
Okay.
done while the weather is good.
I know, right? Okay.
Everything else is great. Have you been down Howard Street next to your old building and saw that they took all those sheets of,
All that,
yeah,
aluminum
gee, it
sheets
looks
off the
good.
It looks really nice, yeah.
Oh, it looks nice. It really does.
And I think they plan on opening Oregon Trail Days
I
weekend.
think they are, yeah.
Okay. Finance Committee has not met. Planning Commission meets tomorrow. Public Safety Committee, Chief of Police. The only thing he was going to talk about is he has signed paperwork to submit for reimbursement of the costs for the payroll costs for Officer Johnson while he was in the academy. So and we haven't been eligible for, we haven't participated in this before, but there is a program now through the state where when a smaller city sends a new recruit to the CJTC, the Criminal Justice Training Center, we can submit and you can receive total reimbursement for any costs that the city accrued while sending them to the academy. So that's big news for us. That's really exciting for us. So he has filled out that paperwork, and hopefully we'll find out soon if we'll be reimbursed for all that. So that is exciting. Good job, Chief. Director of Public Works.
I would like to thank the Director of Public Works for fixing the potholes on that street over there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll take credit for it, but I just had someone go do it. Thanks to Brent and Derek. So it's going to be, next couple weeks going to be busy for us. We know we have the STP coming through, and plus the music festival this weekend. So we're doing a lot of prep for that, a lot of mowing and weeding and cleaning things up over there. And of course, the following weekend would be, Oregon Trail Day. So I've got hopefully our permit will be back here soon for the banner and our parade through WASDOT. But if I don't hear nothing back by tomorrow, I'll be calling them. So if you haven't been by the park for a while, the toys have been constructed and they're up, and so I am waiting for the 100 and some odd yards of playground softball.
And this is the reconstruction
Of the old toys to the
toys
new
that were
area.
destroyed. We
Correct.
got all the new parts. It's
Yeah,
been moved up
it's
to
all been
Parkside.
connected. Everything's there. All we're waiting for is the wood chips. And Susan wood chips gets in there, and we clean up around it a little bit and haul that rest of that dirt off, and we can have the fencing leave, and they're ready to go. And so yeah, that'll be awesome. At least kids will have a place to play and whatnot. But wastewater treatment plant. We postponed the belt press for a couple weeks since we've had so much rain this year. The fields where they were going to land apply needed some time to dry up, and so I gave them a couple weeks. So the belt press will be here the 25th, and we will be dewatering sludge, hopefully for a month and whatever it takes. So that's really exciting. The new aerators out there, we only have one in there, but you guys should come out and actually take a look at what that's doing to that stuff. I mean, it's pretty much,
excited about it.
oh, it's just liquefied. I mean, you went out there before, it just looked like solid whatever. Now it's just liquefied. There's a lot of water, and so it's going to help us out tremendously. Yeah, it was a good purchase for us, and even the future for the septic receiving for the other basins is going to help out tremendously. So that's where that's at. Other than that, I have nothing else. We've just been doing those things. So
There's been
I see.
people asking like why we dug out the area that we did, and like what is going on with the new park construction, and it's not easy for us to do big projects. There's
No.
a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
We like to act as the general contractor on some of our projects to save the city money. So that involves us, doing things a little slower, and finding all the subcontractors, lining them out, and kind of acting as the general. So like the park playground, the new park playground, we had an opening in the Public Works employees' schedules. So we were able to get the heavy equipment used to do the dig out for free, and as a donation from the telephone company. And we had some time in the Public Works employees' schedules that we didn't have now. So we had to do it when we did it. And, then there's a lag time. It takes a couple months before some of the equipment comes in, before the next phase is ready. Some of the, the site development, planning, engineering schemes get put together. So, we save the city money by having the Public Works employees do some of our labor and some of our demolition and stuff like that. But sometimes you end up with a hole there longer than you want. In the city of Lacey, they just go and they hire a general contractor that comes in and shows up on day 1 of March and has everything banged out by the end of March. We do it a little differently because we try to save money, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's the way we like to do it.
The way of the world. Yep. You can't control, subcontractors wherever else who are supplying us with toys. We just can't
Yeah.
control that. That's, we can ask for them, and there should be at a certain time, but sometimes
So
stuff
right
happens.
now with that, we've got the space cleared. We're preparing to do the asphalt.
That'll
pads.
be after Oregon Trail Days.
After Oregon Trail
Yep.
Days, we're going to start working on the track that goes around and the pads where the toys are going to be placed near and around there. We anticipate the total construction of the playground to be done mid-September. Is that what we had discussed?
Yep, that's correct.
And then the pump track will come in a short while later. And talking to the parkitect, we would anticipate doing a big unveiling around May Day. That's when we'd have everything done and be able to say, yes, it's all done and open.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
Exactly right.
And then the quarry house and the pool should be pretty well.
Yeah, the quarry
Yeah,
house.
Quarry House is August,
It
I
would be
think, well
wonderful
back.
if
Yep.
it would all just kind of.
Yeah, Grid City Construction got their SAM certification. They got approved for their SAM certification, and they'll be able to start construction again beginning of August. And then they would be, on a pretty short time frame for finishing that up. The pool, we got feedback back from the Department of Health. We were waiting to hear back from them on our permit. They had a laundry list of items that they wanted us to re-review. And, for instance, the one that stuck out to me was in the kiddie pool. It had to be like, what was it, like, there was a portion of it that was considered a wading pool.
Yeah.
Which is 6 inches deep, and the engineers had it at 6.3 inches.
Yeah, just over 6.
So then
6
it's
inches.
got, so then
Yeah.
that whole engineered design has to go back to the planners, and they have to recalculate everything to come up to shave that 0.3 off, and then it's got to go back to the state, and then they've got to look at it and see if they've got any other comments. So that kind of thing is going on with that, and
Yeah.
man, it is annoying,
Yep.
but
We're getting there.
we are getting
Yeah.
there. and
Hopefully
we're
it'll
getting
be in a
there.
construction this year. Would be nice.
2 weeks.
2
All right,
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
All right, report from interim city clerk treasurer.
Hi. So we've been working on cleaning up the back office. Things are going good. Prepping for the budget to start for 2023. There was a couple bars codes that things were being put in our bank account for quite a while, EFT, and they weren't being recorded properly. So REIT taxes, all kinds of big amounts of money we found, put them in there. It's awesome. Working hard on grant reimbursements. We received a pretty large chunk back for the City Hall reno. Judy's been awesome helping me with that, and the quarry pool, although it's kind of at a halt, there are still engineering costs coming in, so we are working on reimbursements for those. And the annual report is almost midway, so all good stuff. Any questions? Anything else? Okay.
Okay. Mayor, I kind of gave my report along with Troy. That's the kind of stuff that I've been working on and sweating about. Be that
They're on break for the summer.
Solid Waste Advisory Board.
Let's see. July 15th and 16th, they'll be doing, solid waste will be doing the surveys at the drop boxes in Rainier and Rochester. And then Oregon Trail Days, they will be in Tenino at the farmer's market. And they had the climate mitigation plan for greenhouse gas reduced by 45% by 2030 and 85% by 2050, and they reported that they're not even close. That was about it.
Thank you, Councilmember Clam. TCOM 911, no report. Tenino School Board, Rachel is not with us and Jessica is not here. TRPC,
Not really much to report, except for one thing. We've been meeting on face-to-face level lately since the beginning of the year. That might go back to mostly Zoom meetings because myself and maybe 2 other people, not counting the chair, would show up to the live meeting. So we're going to be talking about that at when we have our meeting in September, because we're off in August.
everybody liked that.
They like that Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
That's the funny part, is they complained about the Zoom meeting, complained about it. Now that we can go live, they don't show up.
Huh.
Yeah, I could hardly wait till we could get back.
Yeah.
I hated those things.
Yeah. There's a couple of them that I like doing from home. I'm not gonna lie. TPB.
Tomorrow.
All right. That brings us to public comment period number 2. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to provide public comment, please step forward and do so. You'll be given 3 minutes. State your name and address.
I'll just do a quick one, and this, Dave Watterson, 1132 Central Avenue East, and on the Planning Commission. This is more on the Planning Commission, and again, I'm just here as a member of the commission. I'm not authorized to speak for them, so what I say is just my thing. I think that first I wanted to thank you guys for letting me attend the retreat. It was very good to see everybody together and kind of get a common vision, so I appreciate that opportunity, and hopefully, we'll get to do it again next year. Big thing we're working on that you heard is the housing plan. We're still more in information gathering. He's trying to get us up to speed on, where we are in Tenino and how we compare to the county and the state. So we're still working on that. Kind of another, I think I mentioned the other day about some of the rents I'm seeing. I just saw it the other day on, I think it was on Facebook or someplace, somebody has written a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house. I think it was 800 square feet or less for asking $1,400 a month for it. So to me, this housing is, we got to do something. I don't know what all the answers are yet, but to me, it's just critical that we figure out something to try to help with housing. I know we're a smaller community and maybe we don't see some of the things that bigger cities do, but I think the people in our town are struggling with housing things, even though it may not be quite as visible as it is in some of the bigger cities. So hopefully we'll get that moving. Something that I brought to the board, and I don't know if I've told you guys, I brought a proposal to relook at what we do with travel trailers and motorhomes. I think it's now just a 15 days, and you have to be moving on. So I have brought some proposal to the Planning Commission for their consideration. We're still working on kind of getting that squared away. So hopefully soon that will come for your review. So other than that, I think that's what's going on with the. Yeah, it's great to hear about the ag part. I'm excited to get that, hopefully at that next meeting. I don't know what the process is for doing that, but hopefully we can get it done quickly.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thanks.
Are there any announcements?
Come to the garage sale this weekend,
Yeah.
and then you can go to the concert in the park in the evening. And I was gonna.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna mention this too. Nick is working with us for the garage sale. So he's donated 10 tickets, 10 for Friday night and 10 for Saturday night. The first people that spend over $50 or more in our garage sale.
Oh, cool.
Geraldine's gonna have the tickets, and we say, we got one over here, and then she'll find people, and it's a pair of tickets.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
All right, any other announcements?
Next one.
Next month. All right, thank